do you think being in the title of a TPM somehow, I mean, one is, what was your experience with the role at the company? And do you think the lack of understanding around it led to the November 2022
Oh yeah,
events?
absolutely. Like I think Mark, wanted that year of efficiency. He wanted to cut out management, middle management, and I think he saw TPMs as middle managers. It's funny because I became a TPM because Nate Mitchell was who hired me at Oculus. Like, what do you want to be? And I said, I don't know. I mean, I'm a producer. Like, we don't have those roles here. So how about program manager? And I was like, that sounds okay. I'll do that. I had no idea, right? And in reality, actually, at Meta, like product managers have all the sort of final say. I think in theory, a product manager and a tech program manager should be joined at the hip, right? They should be checks and balances on each other. And you can't have checks and balances if one has hierarchical power over the other, right? So like that relationship is already mismatched. So I think like a lot of technical program management, because of that mismatch, what I noticed among my fellow TPMs is they became data reporters and not data analysts. Yeah, yeah. So TPM, like, and I think once you have a power imbalance, right, you lose the ability to really be about check on product. And product, because they're separated from execution, they can make kind of grand pronouncements about what we should be doing without actually having to live through the life in the trenches. And when you have that separation, and one is more powerful than the other, you lose the ability to keep each other in check, which means you become, to me, what I observed was TPMs at Meta became data reporters, not data analysts. Here's how long it's going to take, or here's the execution path, and here are the risks, but you never really say, but I think this is screwed up. Like, this is not good, right? And here's why. No one wants to make that conclusion. So you report the data. Like, and if anyone ever says like, well, you don't report the data, I'm like, no, I did. Like, this is the data we have. But no one wants to give bad news. No one wants to say push another group into action, because if I give bad news to the product managers, they can't execute on their OKRs, and then they're going to be mad, and they're going to take it out on you in your PSC cycle. And now you see what happens when there's bad PSC, you get laid off. Like, this is all like a bad scenario for actual collaboration. So, and I think that, when you're building, like, I can't speak for the Blue app, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp side, but like all the stuff on Reality Labs is hyper new. Like, it's never been done, which means it's not like a creative development, like +1, +1, +1. It's like giant step changes. So how do you make giant step changes? You got to take some big swings, right? Because it's not like, if I improved Facebook ad, feed by 0.01%, I've made the company like $1 billion or whatever, right? Like $100 million. But that's not possible. Like, if I improve the sort of UX click through of the Oculus store, I've barely done anything. So I think that sort of like push and pull doesn't exist, because there's a separation, there's a disparity of power and influence. Like, what TPM gets to meet with Boz? None. Engineering? Sure. Product? Sure. TPM? Never. Not that I know of. Certainly on the Orion program, the TPMs were shut out of all the big meetings, as far as I could tell. And what does that tell you, right? Like, you are literally middle management. If you're not adding value by pointing out big changes, big risks, then you are not adding value, and maybe he's right to lay them off. Like, I think we were a victim of our own kind of, I would say, victimhood, right? Like, we didn't want to take any chances. We didn't want to rile people up. And this is what happens is people don't see you add value, right? And that's what I think happened.